Welcome to Answers from Within. From the author of The All-Knowing Diary, Mind Lies into Truths that will set you free.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode of Answers from Within. Very exciting. We have Chiku on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Now, you've got a big question today, I believe. What are we going to be dealing with?
So, it's going to be dealing with the enlightenment process. And why is it so rough? Why does it feel so rough?
That is a very wonderful and universal question. Something that we're all dealing with in some form or another. So I want to hone in a little bit, though. I want to go into not why is it so rough. I want to go, why is it rough for you? I really want to look at what's very personal to you, and of course that will have relevance to other people. But I just feel let's aim this at your journey right now, okay?
Okay.
The first thing that's there is there is an expectation. I expected this to be a lot smoother. It's almost as if, well, I'm doing God a favor, I'm doing the universe a favor, I'm going on this enlightenment journey. I should get some kind of credits, some kudos. This should be the easier path, should it not? And it's that expectation that you're doing the world or God or anyone, whoever it is, a favor that is actually making it quite bumpy for you. Because when the truth is, it's in this expectation. So let's just drill a little bit. The truth is in this expectation. Let's drill a little bit further into that. It's like I expect almost like VIP treatment. If I'm committing to this journey, I expect to receive greater allowances, more concessions, a nicer lifestyle, an easier journey. Now, what you're not realizing in that space is where you've come from. Now, just because you're on the enlightenment journey doesn't mean where you've come from is automatically null and void and turned off and just ceases to exist. So you are being extracted from some very dark experiences. They're there in your body, and if you can imagine, they're holding on to your body. And it's that ripping you away from your past and all the attachments there, that is what's causing this to be a rough journey. So it's not that you're not getting your special treatment, because you are. You're getting taken out of your past. That is special treatment, right? For those who put their hand up and say, I want that. You get special treatment. That is special. Otherwise, you know what your past is. It wasn't so special. It's the opposite of special treatment. So you need to adjust the expectation to be more aligned with, wow, I'm lucky it's not harder. Because based on the plethora of like these entanglements between what's true and what's fiction, and there's this battle there, that it's almost like the way I'm being shown it. It's like there are neural pathways that there is a truth and there is the non-truth, and they are somehow, it's almost like I don't want to say fused together, but they're almost like grabbing each other, or so the non-truth is grabbing the neural pathway into the truth, and the more we pull, the more those pathways kind of fire and resist and create reactions from the past because they're memories and their experiences, and it's that's causing the bumpy road. So you've had a lot of them. Many of us have had a lot of those. In fact, our whole brain is made up of those neural connections of non-truth, and we've just got to be grateful that, wow, given how much of untangling there needs to be, I'm actually doing pretty well. I'm actually okay. And the trouble is, in the midst of it, it feels as if it's never going to end, as if it's never going to get better. It's always going to be like this. Life is always going to be this struggle between truth and non-truth, attachment and surrender and all these things. But you're just in the thick of it. And you wake up maybe within a year, it feels like, and you'll be like, whew, I'm glad that's over with. I'm clear.
Okay.
That's not a lot. That's not a lot, because you understand, Chiku, most of these people will deal with what you're experiencing is in the toughness, the bumpy road. They'll deal with it their whole life. They will go through it until they're 85, until their body says, I'm done. And it goes. So if you have another year of this, and we're going to get to how to smooth out those bumps in a second, so don't panic yet. That if you only had another year of this bumpy road in your life, that's pretty good. You're a young woman. Another year isn't going to kill you, but 80 years would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other aspect to this is you're just not giving yourself enough credit. And that's what makes it feel even bumpier. When we're growing, and you know, you're growing at the speed of light, you're doing really, really well. It's almost like it's unfortunate. The faster you grow, the less conscious you are of how much you're moving.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like when you're in a car, you can feel as you're accelerating, and it only goes, 60 miles or whatever. But when you're in an aeroplane, you have no concept. You're going so much faster. But the way you're flying, you don't have a concept of that you're going, like nearly 10 times the speed of what you do in your car. So you actually feel like you're barely even moving on a plane. And that's what's happening. The faster you move on your enlightenment journey, this is the downside is the slower you're conscious to it. And so you're giving yourself a hard time. I should be past this already. I should be through this already. And what you're not conscious to is how much you are through, or where you were a year ago, and how much you've shifted. You're not reacting to the same things. You're not creating the same experiences anymore. Yes, you are dealing with experiences that you planted seeds from the past, but you stop planting seeds like that. And you aren't conscious to that. You've stopped planting weeds in your garden. So what would be a really powerful exercise for you is to connect within and have a look at, please show me how far I've come. Please show me, where I used to be and the leaps I have made and what a difference it has made to my life. Now, obviously I'm saying this to Chiku because Chiku's done our training and she knows how to do this. So you're perfectly, capable of getting that answers and getting that clarity. One of the big things I'm feeling to bring to light with you is how you see yourself. If we take you back, I'm feeling to say 3 years, you were quite disappointed in yourself, I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah? And you're like, I'm not happy with how I do things. I'm not happy with how I go about things. And yeah, you're a bit tough on yourself there. Now, if we look at yourself now, and this is the essence of it here, right now, is if we go in and we look at you, how do you relate to yourself now? I'm seeing through your eyes, I'm a powerful person.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what? I didn't quite hear that. You were very soft there.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes. I am a powerful person. Yes.
You look at yourself in very positive light, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I have the answers. I can access them. I have wisdom I can draw on. I make decisions from a space of wisdom rather than a space of failure. So in this moment, and this is what it's about, shifting how you see yourself. And in a very short space of time, you've gone from this, oh, I'm just not happy with myself at all. It's almost this ineptitude into, no, I'm very capable. And I'm confident with my capability. I've got this self-assuredness. Would you agree?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So, how many times do you stop and look at things like that, by the way?
Actually, I haven't until this moment.
Exactly. We don't stop and look at, God, how far have I come? We look at what's still annoying, upsetting, bothersome, troublesome, and so on. We look for the failures, the hardships. But we've got to break that cycle and go, you know, I'm not going to look at what I'm still doing wrong. I'm not going to look at where I'm still struggling. I'm going to look at how far I've come. You know? I mean, it's like watching the news, and which is something I stopped many years ago, good 10, 12 years ago, because all it really highlights is the problems on the planet, doesn't it? And that's kind of what we're doing with ourselves. What's the daily news? Oh, I'm still, you know, succumbing to eating this kind of food, or I'm still succumbing to this, or but whatever it is. Don't watch the news. It's what's important is the quantum leaps that you're making and recognizing those quantum leaps. And the more you recognize them, like you make it like a daily practice, the less bumpy this enlightenment journey is going to feel. Now, it reminds me a bit, every night I sit with my daughter and we do a little song to help her go to sleep, and we call it a thank you song. And we sing thank you for our beautiful home, thank you for our food, thank you for this, and whatever happened during the day, we have this, you know, we say thank you. And we bring awareness to all the great things that happened in the day. And we hear a lot about that. We hear a lot about, you know, being present to gratitude and all these things. But what we don't hear enough of, and I'm going to make a big point about it now, is being present to our shifts, being present to our growth. And in some ways, that's even more important than being present to the gratitude and all of that. Because many of us come with gratitude as in, it's almost like I should count my lucky stars that I have that in my life. And so we're not always coming from the right place. But when we can come from, wow, look at this shift that I've made. That's, wow, how powerful am I being in my life? How much I can depend on myself to keep growing. And the more we do that, the more we keep growing. It just spurs on more and more growth. So it keeps us in this very elevated consciousness. So that's a new practice for everyone today, is let's be present every day to how much we shifted in the day. Not what we didn't get right. Who gives a shit about that? It's so not relevant. We're only present to what we did great within ourselves. We're about cultivating self-love. God knows we've cultivated self-doubt and self-hate enough. We don't need to do that anymore. It's all about cultivating and nurturing self-love. So the best way to do that is to keep looking at yourself every day and go, wow, I can't believe I just did that. That was a huge shift. What a huge breakthrough. That's a very important one in smoothing out this journey. Okay, let's have a look. Do you have any questions before? I want to go into a bit more smoothing out, but do you have any questions at this point?
No, it was going to be about the smoothing it out. Yeah.
Good. Like, I kind of felt there was a question, but I also felt that I needed to go into that. So there we go. It makes sense. All right, so the next thing we're going to be doing here is, so we're looking at smoothing this journey from this point on. Now, everything I've said so far about being present to how much you've shifted so far as step one,
Okay.
and bringing that presence, that awareness every day, every time you make a shift, and bringing that awareness and gratitude with yourself and self-love for making that shift each day is going to really smooth out this journey. And also coming back to what I said at the very beginning, adjusting this expectation to expect it to be a smooth and easy ride isn't fair to yourself. It's not acknowledging the crap that you've been standing in most of your life. It's not acknowledging the hardships that you've endured. And you see how that creates that extra tension there, that extra, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I should have a beautiful, easy path. Well, but why? Look where I've come from. Give me some compassion. Give me some love of an understanding of, well, why should it be so smooth and easy? And I remember I went through this a few years ago. I had it in my head that, oh, my life is going to be this and that and big and easy going and always an upward thing. And I was so upset with the level of struggle and opposition that I was experiencing. And I was shown, it was like, why did you expect that? Like, why did you expect your life was going to be like that? Look at where you've come from. And I had no concept of how much I had endured. I'd always kind of pushed it aside and went, no, whatever. But, and your body, your whole being wants that compassion. We've been through a lot. It's okay. It's okay if things take a little bit longer. It's okay if things are a little bit harder, because we're easing ourselves out of it. We're not staying in it. We're not digging deeper. We're not going backward. We're healing ourselves, and that's a beautiful self-loving thing. Continuing on, smoothing out the journey. I'm seeing within you, Chiku, you look at other people. You look at other people a lot and you go, why is their life easier than mine? Why do they know that? Why do they have that level of enlightenment? Why do they have that thing? And what happens, and we all do that, right? It's not just a Chiku thing. What's happening in that moment is we're really saying, I'm not good enough, or I'd have that. I'm not good enough, or I'd have that. I'm clearly not as good as I thought I was, or I'd also have that. And so we don't realize it because we've been taught to aspire to others and have role models and be motivated from others and all this bullshit, and that it's highly self-destructive and demoralizing. We've been conditioned to think that's the way to do things, so we do it. But what we don't realize is, oh my God, I keep putting myself down. And not only that, I'm weakening my chance of having what I want because I'm showing myself I'm dissatisfied with myself. And in a lot of ways, as crazy as this is going to sound, if we all walked around with like little blinkers on, we'd actually all be growing much faster. And it's a real discipline in society to steer away from comparison. And if we go into that, what is that energy? We have this need to compare. Need to see where we're at, how we're tracking, how we're traveling. And if we go into that, if we look at the essence of that energy, I need to see what everyone else is doing. I need to see where I fit in, where I belong. What we're actually doing is we're really saying to ourselves, I need to see how shit I am. I need to see how crap my life is. I need to validate every single self-doubting belief I've ever had about myself. I need to validate it. I need to prove that it's true. That's what we're actually doing. We're looking for evidence that who we believe we were all this time is actually true. That we are the failures we always thought we were. That's why we compare. Not a powerful way to conduct oneself.
Mm-hmm.
You're about to ask a question?
Yes. So with what I am currently going through, how do I break through that?
Comparison?
Well, not just with the comparison, but meaning how do I? So yes, my life in the past was just enduring. So I get that now I am out of that enduring. At the moment, it feels a lot worse than the enduring. So how do I break through that to get now to the next higher level where I'm not being affected by it?
Okay. Short and sharp. Stop punishing yourself. Stop punishing yourself for what has happened in your life, in your family. You think that if I give myself a hard time and rip myself to shreds, I will make better decisions in my future. You won't. You'll make worse. Tearing ourselves down does not improve ourselves. So if you have a question that needs answering, come along to danielanswers.com